Hi everyone, it's Dawn and I hope you're having a fantastic week. Well, a lot of cities, particularly in Europe, we're talking right now like Venice, and that they say they have to limit cruise ships because it's just too overcrowded, too many tourists. Is it though? So if we were talking like towns or very small, what you would call cities, like in Alaska, like Skagway or Juneau, if you're talking about possibly overcrowding, then when the population goes from 5,000 people who live there to 20,000 when cruise ships arrive, then yeah, I can see them saying overcrowded and everything's fine. Now, when you're talking about a city like Venice, the cruise lines actually in the city of Venice make up about 5% of the tourism of the city. So if you were to eliminate all the cruise lines altogether, they would have 20 times still the amount of people. Would that end the over-tourism and the overcrowdedness of the city of Venice? I don't think so. If you're going to do something like eliminate cruise ships, you might want to also think about eliminating a lot of your hotel industry and a lot of your tourist industry that way. But we know you're not going to do that, Venice, because that's like your number one income for is tourism. You become a tourism town, and a lot of people are going to have to keep that in mind that that's how the economy runs in that area, and that goes for a lot of the cities. Tourism in the world right now, cruise ships, their biggest year ever prediction is about 30 million cruisers. That would be this year if predictions hold. They're expecting around 30 million. That's up from 17 million about a decade ago. So in 10 years, it's doubled. Okay, the world tourism across the world is 1.8 billion people. So 30 million people out of 1.8 billion people really isn't a whole lot of the travelers. And the majority of that 1.8 world travelers basically go to the same 300 cities every year. So now you're taking billions of people and sending them to that one city. Yet a lot of people will blame the cruise industry, and they'll blame the cruise industry, and I can see their point if you're going to look at it from certain angles. For instance, when a cruise ship arrives, you have it designated in one spot. So say 4 ships arrive holding around 15,000 passengers, and they all arrive at the exact same time at the exact same area, and the tourists just go like this into that confined space, if you will. They don't spread out across the tourist area. If you're at a hotel, chances are you might go here, you might travel to a different province, you might travel to a different city, a different town, you might spread out more. Yes, that is a definite concern. If you could actually take your cruise ships and say, instead of having every cruise ship arrive at the same dock and spread them out like Venice is looking at doing now. Venice actually has 4 docks that cruise ships can, sail to. They just have to set up the facilities there to accommodate a cruise ship unloading. So that's what they're looking to do in the future, and the cruise line is working with them to make that happen. Cruise line totally agrees with them. Hey, if we can spread out more, how happy would they be if, Royal Caribbean goes to one place, the European cruise lines go to another place, and it works along those lines where they can set up their own people and set up their own facilities. Cruise lines would be very happy with that. So when a lot of people say, well, we just have to limit the cruise ships, we just have to limit that for over-tourism. No, that's not really the case unless, like I said, you're talking about towns like small towns that the main way to get there is by cruise ship. Because, everybody goes to Rome, everybody goes to Paris, everybody goes to London, England, everybody goes to, into the Greek Isles. It's a big tourist area, and cruise lines only make up a fraction of the tourism in that just in the area. And then if you're going to look at pollution, everyone looks at cruise ships for pollution. They're working on that. They have the LNG systems coming out, which are basically, sulfur free and almost emission free. And fully 50% of the cruise ships being built now are going to have the LNG system in them. So they are looking at that. That's a completely different issue than overcrowding. Right now they're saying the big issue is the overcrowding, and I think they have to look at a lot more than just the cruise ships if that's your issue. Well, I hope you liked this update. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Now, see more tips, more tricks, more travel blogs from around the world. Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.